Okay. While we're waiting for people to come in, what I thought I would do is to do a quick introduction of myself first, all right? Because I just realized that, we've just like jumped into the workshop immediately. I've never really properly introduced myself to everyone. So for those of you who are new to me, I'm 51 this year, turning, oh no, I'm 51 young this year. But in my head, sometimes I forget, I think that I'm in my 20s, so I act kind of like goofy and childish sometimes. And yeah, my kids, they always laugh at me. I'm a wellness entrepreneur and I'm also a biohacker. Instead of hacking computers, I like to hack my body. I do all sorts of experiments to find ways to reverse age. Yeah. 5 years ago, I also founded a clinic and I combine the wisdom of the East and the West to help people expand their health span. All right. On a personal level, I'm trained in performance coaching, breath work, and trauma therapy, right? So today it's a topic that's very close to my heart because I do a lot of mind-body connection work because of my training in Tai Chi, in Iyengar yoga, as well as hypnotherapy and trauma cleansing, which is a lot about mind. I wouldn't say control, but more of mind, regulating our mind and our body and emotions. So that's what I'm really passionate about. And ultimately, it's all about unlocking human potential for myself, of course. And the reason why I choose to do this review every week, I've decided to make this a commitment, is that while I help others to unlock their full potential, I feel that I'm also unlocking my full potential. Yeah. So thank you for allowing me to introduce myself today. Those who have just joined us, I see Jyoti, I see a couple more people. If you can, please mute your mic. Or Sano, could you assist us to mute the mic so that we can have very clear communication, yeah? Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes,
It comes up if you can hear me. Excellent.
yes.
All right, because Sano just muted me as well. It's the host,
Yeah.
right? Okay, all right. Now, I want to move on now quickly to just say quick thanks to our sponsors, Clinic Rui, Live Keys, as well as our cellular nutrition partners and sponsor BPM, who's also the people behind AKG, right? Um, these are the just brief brief acknowledgements to our sponsors today. All right. Now, as usual, I always like to start with why we are here. Okay. So can I invite everyone who's just joined to type into the chat right now, why are you here today? All right. Are you here because you want to connect with others? Are you here to learn about anti-aging? Are you here to, I don't know, or you're not even sure why you're even here, right? So that's okay. Just share so that we can set an intention of what we want to achieve for today. All right. For me, very quickly, what I want to do today is to cover a very powerful and very a topic that like I said, very close to my heart, right? Very often we know that there are things that we should be doing, but somehow we don't do them. And there are also bad things that we know we shouldn't do them, but we still do them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how many of us snack on chips, and I do that sometimes. I like chocolate actually. But luckily I like the dark form, right? So why is it that we don't do the things that we know we should do, right? So it's about the mindset, it's about habits. So it's a very, very powerful topic for us today. The reason why I chose this topic today is that I want to send across a very clear message that AKG, whilst it's very powerful, it is not a magic pill. Just popping in a pill every day or capsule every day for the next 6 months doesn't mean you're going to reverse your age just like that, right? So we need to also combine it with lifestyle, with our diet, and of course, overall daily habits, right? So that's going to be what I'm going to be covering for today, just to give you a heads up. Now, overall, Why I'm here is that I have I mentioned it earlier. I'm very passionate about helping people to unlock the potential, to reverse their age. And I did it for myself. And I know if I can do it, there are other people who can do it too. All right. So this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And of course, on a bigger scale, I feel that I'm very blessed and very grateful again that, the ladies today have, or one or two gentlemen have decided to join me this evening because it's very encouraging, right? So often I'm not sure yet how is this going to make sense for me from the monetary or the money wise, right? But I just know that if I keep on doing the right things and putting out to the universe, I think the universe will respond. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. So, in fact, I'm hoping to also look into how we can all build financial independence through our knowledge, through our practice in anti-aging, because I have had some experience already in my clinic where I'm helping people to reverse their pain, reverse their disease, and in the process, I've turned it into a way for me to make a living, to generate money for myself. So it's my way of serving the world, serving people who has specific needs in these areas, right? In terms of reversal of disease, pain, and of course, reversal of age. This is something that I think the world needs. Now, type 1, if you agree with me, do you think the world needs this? To learn, more people need to learn how to reverse pain, how to reverse disease. If you agree, type 1 in the chat so that I know that you're with me. Thank you. This bit of encouragement for me. Benza just joined us, is it? I'm just going to pause for a little while to just read some of the comments about why some of us are here. I think it's wonderful. I've seen Sahara say anti-aging. Rita says she wants to learn about anti-aging, slowing aging. Benza says learning about longevity. So many of us are here for a very common purpose, yeah? Getting off bad habits, yeah. Some of us do have bad habits. Most of us do have. Kashish says to be the best version of yourself. Oh, I love that, right? And lots of ones too. Thank you so much. I know that you guys are with me, yeah? All right, so I actually have spoken about that last week, but I thought it's good for us to recap and review. And moving on, I want to review, remember the thing that we talked about, the 10-24-7 last week, for those of you who attended, we talked about whenever we learn a new idea, concept, it's very important for us to review and to kind of like talk about it or share it after 10 minutes, in 24 hours, a day after, and then in fact, 7 days later. Whenever we do this, especially if we were to participate in a discussion or share with someone, it helps us to move what we learn from the midterm to long-term memory, right? So it sticks, it basically, to put it simply, helps us retain the information that we learned, all right? So I'm just going to repeat this again. Now, some of the things we learned last week, I'm going to recap. Is that okay with everyone? Give me 2 thumbs up if you're okay. All right. Awesome, awesome. So powerful for us to review, right? So very quickly, I picked up a few slides that we learned last week, right? So one of them, I didn't have this slide, but I remember talking about it. How can we restore kind of like a scratched DVD? This is actually a DVD that I found at my home, I think. And basically, the reason why we age is the fact that our body loses its ability. I think specifically the cells in our body loses its ability to read information, kind of like getting demented, right? So what we're doing now in my work is to help people restore that scratched DVD, right? To stimulate. And one of the key things I shared before was the importance of not being too comfortable. I love it for the ladies here. Some of you are planning to go out, you have very active lifestyle. Charlotte has your dogs to keep you busy and active, That's really, really important, right? Take them on walks, and human beings are not meant to be sitting and lying down all the time, right? Genetically, we are supposed to crawl, we're supposed to climb, we're supposed to run, we're supposed to carry things, we're supposed to squat. So we need to go back to nature, to our natural state, genetically, all right, and live a little bit more like a hunter-gatherer, all right? Remember this? We talked about this? Yeah, okay? So this is really powerful, something that is very fundamental and which I share with almost every single person that I talk to, okay? And I can't repeat it enough because it's so, so important that stress, small amounts of stress, or what we call in anti-aging hormetic stress, Hormetic, coming from the word hormesis, is actually good for us. So a little bit of challenge, a little bit of stress is good, right? But just need to find the balance. We good so far? Fantastic. Okay, nod your head if you follow. Thank you. Excellent. I just give you another body shot. So as I mentioned in my last workshops, I will be giving you short body shots like that just to keep our body moving so that we can continue to learn, right? Are we good? Awesome. You guys are such amazing students. Thank you for that. Okay, now a little bit more also on what we learned last week. Talk about the importance of muscle. Remember this? Raise your hand if you remember. Raise your hand if you remember. Raise both hands if you remember. Okay, all right. Charlotte can't because she's holding her dogs, I think. Okay, so we talk about muscle. It's equivalent to metabolic gold, right? It's so, so important, especially for the women. Many women may not think that it's important to lift weights, but it is actually one of the most important things that has impact on our health and our longevity. And it's not about what is the number on the scale. You know the scale that we stand on to check our weight is not so much the scale or the numbers on the scale, how much weight do we lose. It's not about that. It's about the composition of our muscle and our fat. All right. So if you want to know more about that, we can deep dive later, or you can DM me or leave some a question for me later. All right. But this is just a general overview. The importance for us to learn to balance our diet, to take enough proteins. If you are vegetarian, there are alternatives like plant protein, lots of beans, tofu, and all that. So your nutrition is equally important apart from making sure you carry some weights. Not necessarily dumbbells or going to the gym, but basically like Charlotte, I can tell those doggies are not light, okay? So she's working those arms. Yeah, she's nodding her head vigorously. Yeah, it's not easy. They're quite heavy, I can tell. And you need strength to handle them, yeah, Charlotte? Okay, so muscle is really, really important. And of course, there's also the mental aspect, the powerful connection and the comfort you get from being connected to animals is really, really powerful. All right, we talk about AKG and how it acts as a cellular fuel. It helps us to slow down aging and basically reduces inflammation. It's got a lot of benefits. Now, I've got good news because my content on IG, Instagram is continuing to get a lot of interest. Is the particular content that you saw or you found me, some of you found me, is still viral, right? So my team has decided to put together a website. Everyone say, yay, hooray, fist pump. My team is going to put together a website, all right, with full information about AKG. And then I've actually spoken to BPM to give us some really special privileges and discounts to make it available for our community, all right? So once the website is ready, you will be the first, the Asia Circle will be the first to receive the link to the website. Promise, all right? I hope you'll be done by next week, okay? So let's leave it as it is first, because the main topic I want to cover today is, remember, yes, AKG is powerful. It is a longevity molecule, but you know what? It's even more important to have the mindset. Why? Because you can spend hundreds of dollars or even thousands of dollars on supplements, but if you're not taking it consistently, you're not also combining it with lifestyle medicine, it will not work just as well. All right. So hence, today it's all about the mindset. 2 thumbs up again, everyone. Yes, excited about this. Now today I'm going to go deep dive a little bit because we hear about this all the time. Oh, the importance of sleep, importance of movement, importance of breathing, going back to nature. Yeah, this is all like what I call a lot of it is kind of like a theory, right? But all of us know the importance of sleep. All of us know the importance of dancing, right? Moving around and all that. But how come we're not doing it? Oh, sorry, just banged the table, getting too excited. How come we're not doing it consistently, right? So that is actually the key thing that I want to be able to what I call to help you with tonight. Okay, so I have found a way to hack our mind, to rewire our mind. But first of all, we need to know why is it that we keep doing things that are bad for us. You know, some of us mentioned that we want to get rid of bad habits, right? And for us to reverse age, we need to have the right mindset and also have the right habits every day. Consistency is key. We hear that all the time. I mean, like we tell that to our kids, right? For those of us as kids, but we ourselves have challenges, right? Nod your head if you agree. Give me an air five if you agree. You know, air five is like giving a person a high five, but it's virtual, but just give me an air five like this. Just imagine. Okay, all right. All right, so we talk about mindset is everything, but you know what? I want to, as I mentioned, impart to you how we can move some of our beliefs so that it shapes our actions better and get us better results. Sounds good? Right? Now, in fact, tonight it's all about us learning how to take control of our mind, right? Now, someone mentioned just now, was it? I can't remember who mentioned that. Oh, this line was something that she really needed. Now, how many of us are facing some challenging situations currently? Type C in the chat right now. C. How many of us are facing challenging situations currently? Irene, Donna, you know what? I'm facing a really big challenge myself right now. In fact, I've been facing challenges after challenges, got to emphasize that since 5 years ago. I'm still recovering from the entire pandemic. It was devastating for me. I lost my entire, I would say fortune. I was in a terrible financial problem because my various ventures failed and da da da. I mean, it happened to a lot of people. But even right now, running the clinic is not easy. So it's been really challenging. But you know what? Thank you everyone for sharing. I'm sharing this because I believe in vulnerability. I don't pretend to be perfect. I don't pretend that I'm happy. Although on Instagram you see me like being happy most of the time, but that's also a form of therapy for me. And this is a way for me to project, to move my body so that I continue to have a positive mindset. It's not about escaping, or it's not about denying that I'm having challenges, but it's training my brain to choose to focus on taking things one step at a time and to focus on a solution instead of looking at the negative thing. Do you get what I mean? It's easier said than done, right? We hear about this all the time, right? But tonight, or today, sorry, I'm going to share with you some very specific things that you can do to help you stay positive even in the most challenging situations. Yes? You like that? Awesome. I see a lot of people nodding your head. Thank you. Okay. Now, moving on. Before we go into the specific hacks on how we can better control our mind, how can we stay positive even in the hardest times in our life, we need to understand this. Harvard studies has already shown, there was one Harvard study, in fact, that showed 47% of our time, we are actually behaving on an autopilot. Now, everyone, so that the learning sticks a bit better, I want you to type autopilot in the chat. A-U-T-O, auto means automatic, coming from the word automatic. Pilot, autopilot means it's going on its own, right? Without even us needing to instruct or be aware. Isn't this scary? Now, this is a Harvard study, but there are other experts like Bruce Lipton. Some of us may have heard of Bruce Lipton, right? Bruce Lipton, in fact, is even more bold. He says 95% of people actually are like kind of living on a memorized set of behaviors. What does that mean? Like, how many of us drive here? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you drive. Do you realize that you typically would take the same route without thinking? There's one example. Do you tend to pick a particular brand of spread for your bread, for the jams, I mean, right? How many of us actually think when we cycle? We don't need to think of how to cycle. We just on autopilot. So these are just simple examples of how our muscles and our body behaviors actually have has memory. So, but not just muscles. Our neural pathways also has like a hardwired way of thinking. So this is the scary part. If we do not practice awareness, most of the time, and according to Bruce Lipton, is 95% of the time. Harvard says 47% of the time, but Bruce Lipton says 95. Irregardless is scary, meaning we are just going on with our life day after day after day, just doing things on the autopilot, kind of like a pattern. You get what I mean? So if we have been, for example, some women tell me, I don't know why I keep dating the same man, right? The same jerks. So that's why, because you've been on an autopilot. So the question is, how can we overcome this? Because if we are governed by our subconscious mind, we only have 5% of free will, meaning we are only making clear choices 5% of the time. Now, everyone, I want you to type in the chat box 5. We only have 5% of the time we're practicing free will and free choice. Very scary, isn't it? Okay, but this doesn't have to be the case. 5% free will of the time is just general on the average. But if we practice certain things, we can increase our free will and our one magic word coming up, willpower. If you have heard of willpower, this word willpower, type 1 comes from the word will, willing yourself to do something, and the word power, willpower. Okay, now tonight I'm going to talk about how we're going to increase our willpower. Before that, I already mentioned this. Again, I want to emphasize it is possible to change these hardwired habits. Okay, I always like to use the term rewrite the story of aging. So similarly, we can rewrite our mind. It's like rewriting the programming of our mind. Isn't it cool? How many of you can do this, by the way? No, I'm just trying to keep the energy up and make everyone move a little.